Jamie, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. And why don't we start with you letting us know a little bit about how did you get involved in working with partners, your current role and your previous roles in the industry?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much, Rick, for allowing me to jump on your podcast. Really excited to be here, so thank you. Yeah, so my relationship with partners started a long time ago. I actually started my career in sales, was always kind of in an account executive or account management role. And years ago at a smaller company based in Dallas, Texas, the CEO actually kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, what do you think about this thing called partnerships? I want to build a couple partners in this technology capacity we were working in at the time." And I said, "Partnership, sure. Let me, happy to jump in, happy to dive in and learn all about that." And so he and I just kind of went on this escapade, if you will, to build a partner ecosystem or build partnerships. We didn't really know what it was going to turn into or what it wasn't going to turn into. It was just, hey, let's try this. And it was so fun and so invigorating and so enjoyable for me. And working along with him, he was wonderful. To really just start, what does a partner program look like? And so ever since then, kind of got the bug in me of this is my, not to sound cheesy, but my calling, my thing. And so I've been in partnerships ever since. So that started with a smaller technology company. We did financial services for hardware products, so think storage and servers and laptops, things like that. So worked a lot with Dell and HP and a lot of the big distributors in the US, Ingram Micro, Tech Data, Cynix, Arrow, etc. So that kind of started the path for me. A little under 20-ish years ago or so. So I've been doing it for quite some time. And then I've kind of done it all. I've kind of, like I said, started that brand new, total greenfield, didn't know what we were doing, didn't know what we didn't know. And then from there, kind of transitioned to a very large, robust partner program with Hewlett Packard Enterprise on their financial
Oh,
services division. So going from not knowing anything about partners to loving it to HP jumping into a full-blown, full-fledged partner program, very different, right? Good things with both, some challenges with both, but just really enjoyed it. So was there for a few years and then I actually had a baby and so wanted to be home with my baby at the time. And so kind of retired, if you will, for a little bit out of the world of partnerships, but always wanted to get back into it when the timing was right. So when my son started school, it was time for me to kind of come out of that retirement and look again. And I personally really like the smaller companies, and so I wanted to kind of go back to that field and started doing some partnerships again with a company that is smaller, but not super small and very old company, so a lot of great roots, and started working with them. And so that kind of partner program was more around, we already have partnerships in place, but we don't really have anything formal or nothing
hmm.
programmatic. So how do we build that? So that was that kind of relationship or that task, and really enjoyed that. Morphed into an acquisition at the time, and so worked for a larger company and kind of started leading another partner division in that company, our technology alliance division. So focus mainly on technology partners, and then I got a taste of AWS, and so started working a lot with AWS as the global alliance lead, and then also strategic OEM and reseller relationships. So fast forward to what I'm doing today. The company I'm at now is kind of similar to the other one where we've had partnerships, but
Hmm.
nothing really formal or programmatic. So kind of again putting framework around there. What does that mean? What does a true ecosystem mean? And what does it mean for us and also for the partners? So I think that was a very long answer, Rick. So I apologize for that. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of done it all.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
I know that's really good that you've had you have some background as account executive, and then you move into the partnership world, and then you have also seen partnerships from scratch all the way up to somebody like HPE, right, that probably had partners for decades already when you joined.
Yes, exactly.
Very mature partner motion. So yeah, that's definitely very, very good background because you have, I'm sure, very different perspectives now on things. Jamie, so let's talk a little bit about what I call the partner journey or the partner life cycle. I think you position this in 3 stages, perhaps, or 3 phases. So you have the building phase, managing phase, and the scaling phase. So let's start with the building phase. What does that mean in your world, from your point of view? Um, what are the typical activities that happen in this building phase when it comes to
Mhm.
partnerships, and what are some of the best practices around it?
Yeah, great question. So I think the building phase is really where the foundation is set, of course, meaning what are we actually looking to achieve short term, near term, but what else are we looking to achieve long term?
Mhm.
There's always a dichotomy between how do I focus on what's going to bring in revenue today
Yeah.
versus how do I plan and ideate and strategize on what is going to bring in revenue in the future, but not just that, what's going to be sustainable also in the future.
Mhm.
And so I think the building stage is kind of that balance or pull between what am I doing immediately today for results and what am I doing immediately today for impact, long term,
Mhm.
longevity. And so to me, that's kind of a key element of that building phase is to just really understand that and then understand where to prioritize, where to focus. Leaders, of course, always want revenue today. They want it
Yeah.
yesterday. And so you can't discount that. But at the same time, the strategy long term needs to continue. So the reason I'm kind of harping on that so much is because I think the building phase starts there. For me, I kind of take an approach that actually AWS taught me. I learned a couple years back of the build, market, sell approach. What are we building
Yeah.
together from a partnership perspective? How are we going to market together? And then how are we selling together? So pretty basic, right? But I think that framework is super easy to understand for everybody, whether you're a leader or you're an individual contributor.
Mhm.
So I kind of use that approach in all partnerships is, you know, in an ecosystem, there's a lot of different partner archetypes. There's your SI partners, your digital agencies, your consultants, your resellers, your OEM partners, your hyperscaler partners, your strategic product partners. So there's a lot kind of in the full ecosystem. But what makes each tick for the partner
Mhm.
and what makes them a good partner for us internally. So, just like I said before, you really have to look at it as a two-way street. There has to be give, there has to be take, or there has to be give before you get the take. And so I think, again, helping each other understand, and when I say each other, myself and the partner, of what do we want to accomplish? What does
Yeah.
that look like? And again, in those kind of 3 areas. I also think with the building phase, a huge area is internal collaboration and internal trust building, meaning oftentimes it's harder to sell internally than it is externally with partners or externally with
Yes.
a customer, even, right? Is how to gain buy-in and collaboration internally with product, with legal, with marketing, with events, with sales, etc. The list goes on, right? With executive
Mhm.
leadership, it's huge as well. Um, and really making sure that they understand internally the why behind our partnerships. I think a lot of times that's something that some partner professionals don't do well is what is truly the why behind it. So again, that goes back to the building framework. Why are we even doing this? What are we
Mhm.
looking for today versus tomorrow? And so I think that collaboration piece is key. And just like I said before about trust externally with partners, same for internal. You have to show up, you have to help, you have to kind of roll up your sleeves, get scrappy, get in there. And then I think you'll find more collaboration there. So yeah, I would kind of take again that two-prong approach of the short term, the long term, but then also the internal versus external with the build market and sell.
Yeah.
So
I think it's definitely a balancing act, right? Because to your point, executives are gonna ask, hey, where's the number? Where's the revenue? It's the end of the month, the end of the quarter, the end of the year. And you
Yes.
gotta be very conscious that what you're doing today may not necessarily be what you're gonna be doing tomorrow, next quarter, next year. So you need to have that long-term plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely resonates a lot with me as well. Trying to figure out those quick wins versus that long-term strategy
Yep.
for future growth. So very cool, very cool. What about, let's say you move from the building phase, I think you call it the second one, the managing phase. So what is the managing phase from your perspective? How do you address that part?
Yeah, I think so. Once the building phase is, and I don't even want to use the word complete because we're always building, right?
Yeah.
And what we're doing, everybody is always building. Um, but I would say once that foundation is set, once internal collaboration is happening and it's firing and people get you and you get them, once leadership really is bought in and understands the why behind these relationships and what are we bringing in, yes, revenue, but also expansion in markets, perhaps brand awareness, perhaps, whatever that may look like, technology areas as well. Then I think you kind of turn into or kind of start how can we start scaling, but really more how can we manage what we have now to again look for that long-term goal, which the long-term goal for me is a well-oiled machine that is inbound leads and inbound traffic. That's the dream for everybody. That's a dream for a marketer. That's a dream for a partner leader. That's a dream for
Yeah.
sales is inbound opportunity, right? And so how do we get there? So I think that managing piece is really key with as basic as it sounds. Sometimes I think we need to get back to basics is showing up every day and doing your job, meaning reaching out to partners,
Mhm.
having that cross collaboration on a constant basis. A lot of times, I've seen partners where they're like, oh, I want to do a 1 month touch in or a quarterly touch in. That's fine.
Mhm.
That's totally fine. But if you're only touching that partner once a month or once a quarter and a email here or there, it's nothing's going to happen. Nothing's
Yeah.
going to change. You're going to get on the phone with them and say all the same things you did and recap versus actually get down to business, right? So I think those check-ins are fine, but I think more so is again the showing up all the time,
Yeah.
weekly emails or touch-in points, calls, whatever that may be, just to make sure you're top of mind. So I think that's more that managing phase of how am I going to really work with this partner long term, and also with that goes your time and your energy. We partner teams often in almost every organization I've been in. um, we don't get a lot of resources. I think most partner people I talk to, their resources are quite
Yeah.
slim and the teams
Mhm.
are very lean. I think
Yes.
that's kind of general today in our world. All teams are, but I think in partners, we are always a lean team, always. And
Yeah.
so I think you can't do it all, right? You do need help, you do need support. So that internal collaboration is huge, to help understand who can help manage this partner with me. If it's a product area, who can I reach out in product to jump on this phone call? If it's a marketing area, who from marketing can I ping to help with? Those kind of things I think are important to really start managing those well. And then hopefully the idea again would be how do you grow that team? That's
Mhm.
more scaling area. But so I think again, just really showing up, working with them all the time, focusing on the right partners too. Oftentimes every company has an ICP, right? An ideal customer
Mhm.
profile, but oftentimes they don't have an IPP, ideal partner profile.
That's true.
And who is that ideal partner? Who are those focus partners we want to go to? So I think that's more once you kind of get to that managing phase, you can kind of discover, okay, this partner worked well or this partner didn't work well, and then kind of tweak what that IPP is to, really go forward with those specific partners that you both help each other out. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Showing up is definitely a big one for me. And I kind of have a question now randomly in my head that based on your experience, how many partners do you think a partner manager is able to properly manage, right? Because it doesn't count if you just meet them, like you said, once a month, right?
Yeah.
Is that really partner management? I don't think so. But how many do you think they can manage effectively? Do you have like a magic number, perhaps?
Oh, wouldn't that be fun if I did? Had a magic number. I wish I did. I just had a call earlier this week. It was on Monday with a tech partner, an ISV partner, and he alone, global company, huge company. He's a team of one. He
Hmm.
manages 90 technology partners.
Oh, wow.
90. And how much can you really do? A team of
Yeah.
one with 90 tech partners, right? Um, you know, I've been at companies before, at HP, for instance, I manage one. I manage
Hmm.
Arrow Electronics, a large
Hmm.
distributor, of course, in North America. But there was a team of sellers. So I wasn't selling, I was just managing that partner. That can happen, if you have the right things in mind, but my gosh, that's 25 years of HP working with this partner to
Yeah.
get there. So I think to answer your question, I don't have a magic number. I wish I did because I think that would help leadership also understand like, hey, when
Hmm.
do we need to hire someone? So I think it really depends on how long the program's been going, the partner program. Again, with HP, very different than the company I just mentioned, the ISV partner. Um, I think it needs to align to the company's goals, right? It needs to align to what is the company looking for? Of course, revenue is always there, but usually there's one or two or three big things. Is it customer retention? Is it net new logos in a specific vertical? Whatever that
Hmm.
may be. So I think if you can align your number of partners or your ecosystem to that, I think also gives you a little bit more leverage into
Yeah.
working with leadership of I need more resources or, I need to offload something. We can't have it all, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great question. Right now I could say I'm building an ecosystem with lots of different archetypes and sky's the limit of how many partners we're going to have. Um,
Hmm.
but right now, team of one, right?
Yeah.
And working with sellers and working with marketing folks to help, of course, but to put a specific number on it, I think is really challenging.
Yeah.
I will say with AWS, for instance, a hyperscaler, or whether you're working with AWS, Azure, Google, whomever, GCP, I think usually one person to those, right, makes a lot of
Hmm.
sense if you really want to dive in because it's so much. I don't think you need one person dedicated right away, but I definitely think there's a time for that.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think also this probably goes back to your question too of how many partners per person. I think it depends on how big the partner team is itself. If you have a just partner managers or do you have an enablement practice? Do you have a partner marketing practice? Whatever that may be,
Hmm.
can fluctuate those numbers.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also wish I had a magic number, but there's no magic ball for this one.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the answers are, well, it depends. So, Jamie, to wrap it up, what's your key initiative in scaling? You have built version one of the strategy. You started to manage some of your partners. Then, what's your number one priority when you're thinking, okay, now it's time to scale the
Mhm.
partnership motion?
Yeah. The number one in scaling I think of is inbound leads, inbound traffic,
Mm,
inbound marketing, inbound, all of the inbound fun things that come with it.
yeah,
And again, I know that's, everyone's goal, regardless if you're in marketing, sales, leadership,
yeah.
whatever. You want people, customers, to come to you.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the big goal. That said, how to get there. I think to me, the scaling piece is keeping that in mind, but now that you've kind of managed your partners a little bit more, you kind of see
Hmm.
how they're working, how they're not working. Maybe there's some you need to kind of let go. Maybe
Yeah.
there's some you want to double down in. Maybe there's one that came up in the ranks that you didn't even think was going to be a focus partner and they are now. So to me, it's more of okay, we really are dialed in on our foundation. We've really understood who our IPP is. We really understand who we can work with to help our customers,
Hmm.
and therefore help ourselves grow and the partner gain more revenue too. So I think I think it's really kind of picking at that point out of the ecosystem again, assuming we're doing a full ecosystem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is who are those partners or what types of partners are the ones who can help us reach those goals?
Yeah.
So if it is more of the AWS, as we just said, or the GSIs, or excuse me, the AWS, the hyperscalers, um, maybe let's put some more resources there. Or if that relationship isn't working out, maybe let's take some resources away and maybe let's put that more in the SIs who
Yeah.
are providing more services around our product, and therefore more leads to us. So on the
Mm-hmm.
product revenue. So I think at that point it's really just kind of understanding and seeing what's working, what's not working. And I think that goes back to my comment on being flexible, being a little bit more autonomous, working with leaders who are all about trying it, giving it a go, right? Taking action versus inaction.
Yeah.
Um, not everything works, and that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but we can pivot and we learned and we can move from there. So to me, the scaling part is a lot of that, listening to your partner community, understanding what's working, what's not working, kind of again focusing on the right type of partner in that right vertical that you're looking to be. And again, aligning to the overall company goals. If you're not doing that, you're never going to get executive
Yeah.
buy-in. You're never going to get executive buy-in to build a team. That also goes with scaling is how do I've proven some things, and now how can I build a team to really start scaling?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, as we both just talked, we don't have a lot of resources. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you can get to that point of things are proven, things are working, things are going, and if we get a few more folks or a few more heads, we can really make some impact. I think that's also when leaders start listening. So,
Yeah.
all of that though, huge caveat is things have to have happened before, meaning revenue has had to come in before,
Mm-hmm.
brand awareness has had to come in before, or expanded a market. Partners need to be evangelizing on your behalf and vice versa. So that's definitely with the caveat of the building and managing has worked, right? If it hasn't, then we got to go back to the drawing board. But yeah, so
Yeah. And
yeah,
it becomes like a never-ending cycle in a way, right? Like to your point at the beginning, it's not that you complete the building phase, but at least you have version one, and at some point you're gonna come back to it. So
yeah.
that definitely never ending. So Jamie, thank you very much for your insights. Appreciate your time. And yeah, maybe we'll talk later about a partner sales capacity chat.
I like that. I like the partner sales capacity. There's a lot of ideas I think you and I could have come up with on that. So
Cool.
yeah, thank you so much, Rick. So appreciate your time. So thank
No,
you.
thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it. You take
Okay,
care.
take care.
Bye.